Why do people hate modern media, certain types of modern media that appears to be diverse? I think there's a general assumption that people are making, that I'm making, that if something is all of a sudden diverse in a specific checklist sort of way, that the people responsible for those changes are probably middle class to upper middle class white people who don't actually know what they're doing and have everything handed to them. Fail miserably at delivering a good experience, fail repeatedly, don't sell comics, and then they just wax poetic about diversity and inclusion and progress, but in reality, their stories are extremely incompetent and just make a mockery out of the political system. I think everyone can agree that's pretty much it. That's why we don't like Hollywood right now. Because Hollywood is hiring very, very stupid people to diversify and ignore the origin of stories. The exact wrong approach to making a diverse story. If you want to make a diverse story, make a fucking diverse story, but do not write in a scene where a waiter, a snobby waiter, all of a sudden is a anti-gay, homophobic waiter guy, and the hero is a whiny brat. Switching from Goth, from bisexual Goth, who was kind of a brat before she became Batwoman, before Batman saved her, to a story where she's not even. There's this sort of faux diversity aesthetic idea that where it's like Kate Kane's looked like fake as fuck, is what I'm saying. It looked like something out of some designer's catalog, some really bad designer's catalog, to fit the aesthetic of the show, but not in a way where it's fun, more in a way that is just incompetent. Well, like, I'm fine with Alice and all the supporting actors, but for some reason, the actual superhero stuff in a show about a big deal superhero was incompetent as fuck. I mean, mid season 2 at least got entertaining because they gave up and just made everything Vampire Diaries, but seriously, it was really annoying. It was really annoying. Just when I was kind of warming up to Kate, episode 12 happened. Yeah, actually, yeah, no, I was still pissed about her killing the definitive Batman of all time for no good reason. And then episode 12 happened, and I was like, Kate Kane is a supervillain. Fuck her. Why are you constantly writing supervillains as heroes? You're supposed to be writing heroes, not supervillains. Like, this thing definitively seemed to start in 2014 when the toxic part of the left was organized along with the rest of the left complaining about gay marriage. Not pushing gay marriage into becoming a thing. I'm fine with gay marriage, blah blah blah, tattoo, blog, everything, thumbs up, blah blah blah. But then all of a sudden it turned from week for week for week, like day for day, and the stories about crazy right-wing people were like 5 a day, and maybe 1 or 2 for left-wing people every other day. And then all of a sudden, some random random Republican ad got picked up at the height of the gay marriage debate and became like an exploding fucking thing that no one really gave a fuck about. But then politicians in my country, in Bulgaria, all of a sudden started talking about gender. What is gender? There was like an actual meeting about gender. But I'm not complaining because there was a meeting about gender. I'm complaining because they were using the American term gender. Like, we have a term for gender in Bulgaria. It's called pol. Like what is that? And then the floodgates opened. And every couple of months, at first it was every couple of months, you get this ridiculous story of something like a crazy person insisting that there's a safe space inside of a protest on a field in front of a university. Yeah. Another thing was a bunch of rich black kids rammed themselves, I saw the video, rammed themselves slightly into the car, the snail pace car of the principal. And then they spin it like their principal hit them with his car, or the principal's driver hit them with his car. But he didn't. And everything about that whole thing was crazy as fuck, because you had KKK supposedly running around, but no one got video of KKK running around. It started because of a poop swastika in a bathroom somewhere, and somehow the administration was supposed to do something about it. I don't know what they were supposed to do about it, but they got the principal replaced. And then the replacement principal's wife asked, what is the big deal about Indian outfits during Halloween? And then they wanted to replace the replacement principal, the guy they picked to be a replacement. Not because he said anything, but because his wife said something. It was a very bizarre situation. You had the dreadlocks nonsense. Dreadlocks are not an exclusively black guy thing. Redheads have dreadlocks. Deal with it. Techno people have dreadlocks. Deal with it. It's not cultural appropriation. If someone wears a certain diverse hairstyle on a runway, a model has a certain diverse hairstyle, and it catches on, that's not cultural appropriation. That's called a trend. A genuine, average as hell trend. Like an actual, genuine cultural trend. You do not own dreadlocks. Techno people get to to have dreadlocks. Do not fuck with the techno people. Do not fuck with the steampunk people. Please stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop it, please stop it. Then there was the whole nonsense about the Joker movie. And I get that some people might still think that the Aurora shooter was emulating the Joker because he had colored hair. He was not. Like the prosecutor in the case said he was not. The guy said it could have been any other movie. Like, you have an actual living shooter on record explaining his motives. Like, he was not there because of the Joker. And even if he was, wearing Joker makeup does not make you a sociopath. Like, being a furry makes you kind of a crazy person, but wearing Joker makeup does not make you a sociopath. And even in the furry side of things, wearing a furry outfit versus wearing one of those weird furried hoodie things that I don't know what they're called, but yeah, a lot of young people have them these days, and they dance around. And I miss the 2000s where the funniest thing was someone fucking his sister or something. Too much funny, stupid shit is out there on the internet today. Then you have trailers with confusing music and confusing shifts in story that mask how good a story can actually be. Like, when I watched Jupiter's Legacy, I was just, the trailer for it, I was just so annoyed by it. Like, I didn't remember all the names of the characters, but I definitely remembered that the Golden Light guy, that guy had a cheating arc. It was a very, very strange thing to see that guy in particular be turned black. I think they split one of the characters. I could be wrong. I'm pretty much 90% certain that gay dude from the mission, from the Red Cross situation, like, that guy might have not been in the original movie. Yeah, he was not in the original. I'm fairly certain of it. Yeah, so, or was he? I know there was a guy who was gay, but I do not remember anything about a Red Cross thing at all. It's very strange. It was very strange to me. I'm very confused about everything. Yeah, but I did watch the first season because there was nothing else to watch, and I had forgotten that Lord Elmoroy, I had waited for a dub, so I finally watched this stupid Jupiter's Legacy thing because I didn't want to feel left out. And it was kind of good. It could have been a lot better had they gone with the original story. With Jupiter's Legacy, Jupiter's Circle, Jupiter's Legacy again. First 2 volumes and the first volume of Jupiter's Circle. It could have been a much better looking thing, but it actually works. But the soundtrack to the trailer, the sound of the trailer was, the song was Why? And they make it seem like the daughter has anger issues, which she doesn't. I mean, she might, but in reality, she just has issues. And they made it seem like they were gonna switch the brother and sister arcs, but they didn't. So we're actually getting a kind of an adaptation of Jupiter's Legacy, except for some small detail changes and reframings of things. And Utopian is kind of a massive asshole in this one, which he wasn't in the original. In the original, his kid was a massive asshole, and that's why he did what he did. So it's kind of a major change, but it's not a nonsensical major change, is what I'm saying. But that's the problem. I assumed a piece of work would suck terribly, because the norm has become, or we have a couple of examples of very, very stupid situations where people change shit up for no good reason, and the end product seems incompetent as fuck. Like the third Infamous game, Second Son. That game was nonsensical. Why didn't you bring back Cole McGrath? Why didn't you spend more time on the story with the new characters you introduced? Why were there protests against drugs there? I'm very confused about that. What exactly was the game protesting? It's very strange. I'm very confused about that. It was a very weird thing. And then you had David Cameron taking over the Terminator franchise. Again. And because I know Dark Angel, and Dark Angel was actually diverse and actually well written, and actually knew what it was doing, I was more fine with the changes than the average person, where the average person saw very, very incompetent situations, very incompetent, like, we have a female now, and she's the savior. Bullshit. I saw, hey, that's fucking, she's being kind of like Max's mom, or Max from Dark Angel, sort of, I guess. The dialogue still sucked donkey balls because it wasn't James Cameron who directed the movie. Various patches of dialogue sucked the donkey balls. But if you rewrote those patches, it could have been a good story. Also, why David Cameron? Why did David Cameron not switch to red? Like, it's a Terminator movie. Switch to red. Although I guess I was still annoyed by the in-your-face political aspect of the cages. Yeah, I guess I did kind of hate that movie a little. But the good memories from a well-written time, from a time where writing was good, kind of, sort of. Like, those memories made me more accepting of the work. And that's the problem. When you make changes that are nonsensical, you're making changes that are nonsensical. And you're losing all this faith that people push into the works that they are watching, that they're used to watching. Like I get the next Avatar being a woman and blah blah blah, but why a city? Like, that seemed very strange. Like the Avatar: Legend of Korra thing, from a modern perspective, it seemed very strange that they just switched to a city. And I was kind of confused why Korra never made out with her girlfriend or kissed her girlfriend. Like, did they kiss at the end? I'm very confused about that. It was strange. It was very, very strange. Yeah. But it was kind of a good story because good people were writing it. But it was also not quite what someone would expect from an Avatar story. So that was annoying. Mildly. But that's before the floodgates opened. Before we got a sense of exactly how badly Iceman was rewritten to be gay. Like, you make Iceman gay, but then instead of focusing on his story, you just kind of delve in this bizarro mind space where you're just writing yourself in as Iceman, and you're going on like, oh, nice parents, oh, they could be more diverse, and it's like, bitch, your dad landed in a hospital like 2 or 3 volumes ago because he was hiding mutants. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, why the fuck did you just switch Iceman into being kind of an asshole? It was bizarre. It was very, very bizarre. I'm so confused. And that's why people hate media these days. Like, we cannot gauge from the advertising whether or not a diverse piece of work is gonna be good or not. It's stupid. It's stupid, it's stupid, it's stupid, it's stupid. Like Ta-Nehisi Coates sold no comics. Why is he writing a Superman? Why is he in charge of a Superman story? If you never sold any comics as a comic book creator, and all you do is political shit, and all people are annoyed by is political shit, why are you in charge of a Superman story? Like, I would watch an actual competently written, competently directed Superman story with a black Superman if it was justifiable to do that. Like, had any actual substance and any actual meaning behind that. It has potential to be there, you know? Superman comics fucked with the KKK. The Superman comics slipped into KKK circles. No, they got people to send them passwords from the KKK and publish them. They made a mockery out of the KKK. People left the KKK because their kids were playing bad guy, good guy, bad guy with the KKK. They ridiculed the KKK. It was ridiculous for the KKK. And it was fun to watch. To learn about, but it would be fun to watch. But if you do that, why not do that with the Martian Manhunter? Shapeshifter. Do the exact same thing, do Black Klansman, kind of, but with the Martian Manhunter. And like fire and shit. It doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't do that with the Martian Manhunter. We know who the Martian Manhunter is. Like, it's a bizarre switch up. Probably done specifically because someone wants an ego boost and wants to be the first person to do X, Y, and Z with a diverse Superman or whatever. And it's just stupid. It makes more sense to just all of a sudden switch the Daily Planet into like a blogosphere thing, and Superman is all of a sudden a blogger, or do a 1980s Superman thing where he's a news anchor or whatever. It makes a lot more sense to go there than it goes to just make him black and have Ta-Nehisi Coates, of all people, like in charge of a black Superman project. Abba and Preach can make a better Superman project, and probably would make a very good Black Superman project if they got their hands on it. And I have no idea whether they're any good at storytelling in a directorial format or not. I just know that I like Abba and Preach. I like watching good shit, not bad shit that's just incompetent, you know? I expect incompetence from diversity. That's what the incompetent left did in Hollywood circles, in fucking media circles. Like one of these days, someone is gonna look at the Black Elf situation and make a Black Elf in fucking Lord of the Rings. And people are gonna get upset about it, and younger people are not gonna get why we're upset about it. So, there's this crazy chick who, well, no, there's this brat. There's this black chick who put on elf makeup and was like, yeah, I like Tolkien, but he was kind of racist, so we gotta have more black elves or something. I heard about her through a bisexual black man complaining about comics in general, and he was like correcting her about how not racist fucking Tolkien was, and how fuck you, German publishers, he was about the German publishers asking about Jewish people in his work. Yeah, so this was pre WW2, right? So he was anti bigotry when it most mattered in history. So I went through her article. It was meh. And then I looked up all of her supposed quotes from the book, and I distinctly remember the only mention of a black orc in the entire book. I went to that. I found it. I searched it. And I looked up, and I literally looked upwards to the page above that. Like, one page previously, I read the actual fucking context of that. And it was, a big white orc is being racist against a little black orc. And Sam and Frodo are watching that and are like, geez, with friendship like that, blah blah blah. They were mocking racism. And it's like, how do you go from supposedly being a Tolkien fan? Like, how the fuck did she fetch that? How the fuck did she fetch that? How the fuck did she fetch the black orc part, but didn't read through the thing? I smell enormous bullshit there. I smell bullshit. It's a very, very, very foul stench. Like, seriously. Look it up. Black Elf. You're gonna find the crazy bitch. You're gonna look up the actual quotes. You're gonna see Tolkien is definitively not bigoted. Like, the only controversial thing about Tolkien would be his estate patenting the word orc, and Dungeons and Dragons having to apologize for that back in the 80s. Yeah, see, the problem is, orco is an actual word for ogre, and Tolkien was, a linguist first, and then a writer. So that was annoying. Well, that and the deleted ending. Yeah, let's kill off Dracula in the extended cut, and not mention him at all in the main cut. Yeah, that actually happened. That's a part of history. Like, I suppose it could be the one thing you could possibly complain about in the movie side of things, other than the Lindsay Ellis 2-hour three-parter of story about how the nation of New Zealand lost its fucking rights. That was a ridiculous thing. But in the 2000s, the Lord of the Rings used to, like, market the whole this is kind of gay aspect of the thing in trailers on TV. And if you don't know how funny that was to people back then, just look up Clerks 2 Lord of the Rings. Clerks 2 Lord of the Rings. You are going to laugh your face off. You're going to laugh your ass off. And just. The cute guy from Alias was there. It was funny as fuck.